Hi everyone, and welcome to my first rides review of the new FACTOR OSTRO VAM. I received this bike just before the Christmas break, and I was the first UK customer to receive a production version of this bike. And my son was so impressed that he convinced me we should do a short social media post just to tell you a little bit about the bike and make sure that others out there get to experience this awesome machine. So let's first look at it in a bit more detail, and I'll tell you about my experience so far. Okay, so let's look up close. So as you can see, it's a disc brake bike only, and it's also electronic group set bike only. This is a 56 centimeter frame, and it comes in the standard sort of black color. They do three colors. This black color though is really just a lacquer, so you can see all the beautiful carbon weave in the frame and the material details, which I think is pretty cool. This is what they call their quiver killer bike. So it's a combination between an aero bike, climbing bike and lightweight bike, and it has the best components of each of those bikes. So let's look at a few more details. So up front, we've got the black ink hubs mated to their mid-depth 45mm carbon wheels. These are tubeless compatible, and I'm running them with a pair of Schwalbe Pro 1 tubeless tires of 28mm thick. You see the wheel is actually quite a fat, bluff profile, and the tires mate with it really well. I'm running these at 80 psi, which gives a really comfortable ride, and I'll come on to that in a little bit more detail. There's one point to pick up. You can't really see it here, but these come with their ceramic speed bearings, which I'll talk about in a little bit more detail. As you can see, the fork crown is really wide at the front, giving you plenty of tire clearance. It's quite bow-legged almost. Head tube is only slightly sculpted for aero at the bottom. We have the ceramic speed headset, and on top we have black ink, which is FACTOR's own brand combined stem and bar combo. This comes in various different lengths and widths, and I've chosen this particular setup to fit my shoulder, my arms and my riding position. We obviously have a integrated black ink Garmin mount, which is great, and of course, because I'm running SRAM Red AXS throughout, we've got the SRAM Red shifters, which have the slightly higher hoods because of the electronics and the hydraulics. FACTOR's own bar tape as well, and also their bottle cages, which are super lightweight. At the seat post, we have a specialized power saddle, 155mm wide. I rave about these saddles. I've been using them since they came out, and they're super comfortable. But this is the new one with the elaston material, which is like super squidgy material where your sit bones sit, which is incredibly comfortable. I'll talk about the comfort in a little bit more detail. This is the non-standard spec for the FACTOR bike, but the guys at FACTOR were kind enough to fit that for me. Down at the drivetrain, so we've got SRAM Red AXS throughout. I'm running this with some time pedals. This has got the integrated power meter, and this is the 4835 tooth chain set, which is their sort of middle variant, which is ideal for the climbs I have where I live. Obviously a matching rear mech, but it's been modified with the ceramic speed, larger pulleys and bearings, and a conversion kit. We then have a 1033 tooth block, and this larger gear at the back is great for that sort of get out of jail card when on riding some of the steeper climbs that we find where I live. You can see the seat stays super skinny, coming up about 2/3 up the seat post. Seems to be a little bit lower than some of the other brands. Quite a boxy set of chain stays. Plenty of tyre clearance, certainly the top and down the bottom. I believe you can get 32mm in here if you so wish. You could probably go a little bit larger, but these are 28s and they fit no problem. Quite a bluff finish to the seat post, and then the rest of the tubes are aero as you'd expect, with the sort of the scallop here out of the down tube for hiding the bottles, aero profile, boxy section down in the bottom bracket, which has also got the ceramic speed bearings, and really nice tapered fork into the head tube and down tube. So let's talk about how it rides. So I've done a combination of short, sharp, fast rides with a couple of lads, some major climbing rides and some longer, comfy cruising rides. And the overall impressions are really, really positive. First things to note, how comfortable it is. So a combination of the saddle, the slightly larger tyres, low pressure, and the carbon frame and the layup produce one of the most comfortable bikes I've ever ridden. Combined, I can get down into the drops on this bike as well, which is something I don't normally do because I find it quite uncomfortable. But the team at Factor have done a great job with the retool kit, getting a perfect fit. And I find I can spend quite a bit of time down the drops, which is really, really comfortable and gives you a nice aero position. The comfort is really, really quite noticeable. Second thing to note is how easy it rolls. So a combination of the ceramic speed bearings in the hubs, bottom bracket, and maybe also on the rear mac, just create this sense of ease of rolling, and you really notice it when you pull away from the house or off the lights or wherever you may be starting from, and that's got to be worth a couple of watts. The other thing to note then is it's really quick. So when you want to go quick, putting your foot down, this frame is really, really nippy. So normally you would find there's a little bit of a lag between the time when you put your foot down, taking the time for the wheels to spin up, particularly if you're using deeper section carbon wheels. But with this, it's really, really quick, and you really notice how quickly it accelerates. It likes going fast. The SRAM AXS group set, brilliant, really impressive, mesmerising, efficient, effective, accurate, precise, no problems there. And obviously the disc brakes are fantastic, particularly with the grottier weather we have. The tyres, I expected those to cut up in some of the rougher roads we have around here, particularly the bad weather we've had over Christmas. They've actually been really, really fine, no punctures, no problems. And I'm running them 80 PSI, as I said, and I think they just had great degree of comfort. So overall, really impressed with the fit of the bike, the feel, responsiveness, and also the service I've had from the team Factor HQ in the UK. Been really helpful in terms of getting the right fit, the right spec, and then getting me the bike on time. And then the last thing I'm going to note now, I'm going to get the bike wrapped by a local company called Cannonball. So they're producing a custom film pack, a heli-tape pack for the bike, which will just give me some comfort in terms of protection on the exposed areas of the forks, down tube, head tube, chainstay, etc. And that'll be a really good addition when that's up and rolling.